Nottingham Forest are in the market for a goalkeeper. Welcome to your transfer news. Good morning, good evening, or good night. I hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest transfer news. Coming up in today's video, we'll talk to you about a really good keeper that's been linked to Forest. We'll talk to you about a player who's about to be exited out of Nottingham Forest. And we're going to touch a little bit on the Borefest that was Bristol 0, Forest 0 last night. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And please don't forget to subscribe to our second channel as well, the Footy Network. I'll leave the link up there in the top corner for you. And in the comments, if you just hit that button and subscribe. It's all about football, it's all about the Premier League. And Forest stuff will be there as well. All right, let's jump into this. And let's start with Péter Gulácsi, who is the Hungarian international, who's played forever for Leipzig, it feels like. Started at Liverpool a while back, even played at Hull City. And is a top-notch goalkeeper. To be honest, he's also had one of the best hair transplants I've ever seen. Remembering him from a few years ago, watching the Bundesliga, to what he looks like now is night and day. But he is going to be very hard for Forest to get because Leipzig don't want to sell him. Now, he's 33 years old. He's 6'3", an accomplished goalkeeper in my opinion, one who I do rate quite highly. And if they don't want to sell him, that means they're going to increase the price on him. By the book, he's worth about £3 million because of his age. I can't remember how much he's got left on his contract, but it's not that expensive. How much more can they add on it? They're probably going to look for 5 to 7 million, something like that, I would guess, in euros. But that's not the important point to this story. Whether or not we get Gulácsi or not isn't important. It's the fact that there's a link to a goalkeeper, which outweighs whatever goalkeeper's been linked. It could have been, I don't know, Peter Shilton being linked back. I wouldn't really care right now. It just shows that they're not happy with the current state of the goalkeepers, as probably most of the fan base are not. Or option number two is they're watching FFTV and they saw our video yesterday and they thought, you know what? They've got a point, especially reading all your comments in there. So always make sure you're commenting on the video because you never know whose eyes are glazing over it. So I'm extremely happy by this link. One, I do like this keeper. Secondly, it means we're getting a keeper. And thirdly, it's come from Romano as well for the sourcing. Now, he himself has said that this is going to be an extremely hard deal for Forest to get over the line. What I don't want to happen is for Forest to get led down a rabbit hole and just chase Gulácsi all the way to the end of the transfer window and maybe not land him. We've given them some different options from yesterday's videos. There are plenty more other goalkeepers that Forest could go after. But if we got him, he comes straight in for me. He's good with distribution. He's a good shot stopper. He's quite a tall goalkeeper and has a presence as well and is very commanding. Now, he has had a major injury. He's been out for a year with an ACL from last October to this October. It was pretty much a whole year on the nose. And that's kind of hampered his international appearances, etc. for Hungary. But he's fully recovered from it. It's behind him. But there is that niggle in my mind thinking, man, players that come to Forest with some kind of injury, it usually crops back up. But are you happy that a goalkeeper's linked? Are you happy that it's Gulácsi that's been linked? Or would you prefer someone from our list yesterday? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's move on to our second story, and that is about Divock Origi. The guy who, for those of you who remember in the summer, I was like, I would have rather got Batman in instead of him. Now I'm like, we definitely should have got Batman in instead of him. Because Origi is set to leave Nottingham Forest, not to go back to AC Milan, but to go across the pond to the MLS. LA are looking at him and are very interested, and the talk is it will be a £4 million fee. And there's no problems like the Tavares one with this one. Forest are prepared to let him go, especially as we're paying about 100 to 120k a week on his wages, which is extraordinary to say the least. So he is about to go. Now, what that will do as well is free up another loan slot. Let's not forget Santos went back to Chelsea with Origi going. That could free up 2 loan slots and maybe Tavares going as well, because Arsenal are pushing so hard on that and they actually getting frustrated with Forest. Maybe we'll see on Tuesday, winner takes all. If Arsenal win, then they get to have Tavares back. If Forest win, then we keep him. Who do I want to win now? I don't know. Anyway, joking aside, Origi going opens it up. And that's like, he could have worked. He could have worked. The thing with him, he's been more of a folklore legend than he has an excellent footballer. When you speak to the Liverpool fans, they all loved him for particular goals, but he never got a run of games at Liverpool or at Forest. So I say, let's cut our losses on this one. Failed experiment. It happens. We've had plenty of them over the last 18 months and let him move on. Now, on other notes, you guys have been asking me for updates on Forbes magazine. The only update I've got for you is that there's no real update from the Forest side, apart from Forest is still interested in pursuing Carlos. Well, he was Borges before, but now Forbes. Now, there is another party interested in Burnley. Now, there's connections and links between Vincent Kompany, obviously, and Forbes from their time at Manchester City. But if our competition's going to be Burnley, then do you think we are the front runners? The only thing that may put Burnley ahead is they could probably guarantee him more game time than Nottingham Forest. Because if we do end up getting Reyna, and I'll give you a very quick update on him in just a second, then can Forbes push his way into the first team? I still want that one to go through because I think he's pacey and powerful and exactly what we need in a wing style position. But there's no real new updates on it, as in nothing's moved further down the road is probably the best way I can describe that one. But are you guys still interested in him? Because a lot of you are asking about him in the comments. So let me know in the comments. All right, let's move on to our next story. And before we do, if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And let's touch on the FA Cup match yesterday. In the Borefest, let's be honest with it, we were keeping each other entertained on the watch-along. Shout out to all of you in the watch-along yesterday. My voice is just about recovered, doing commentary on a game that didn't have many chances. But having slept on it and looking back at it, I do take quite a few positives from it. I think Omar Bamidele looked solid. He's looked better each game he's played. Is he ready for the Premier League as a full-time position? Probably not quite yet, but he has proven he is probably better than McKenna and Worrell already, in my opinion. Dominguez and Yates, for me, were really sloppy in that first half. Danilo's passing went back to the Danilo we've seen of this season, not the Danilo we saw against Brentford in the second half last week. So my main positive from it is this. I don't actually mind that there's another game, because when this game comes around, hopefully we'd have had some more of our AFCON players back. Maybe Taiwo's close to full fitness. Maybe Elanga's close to full fitness as well. And we can use that game to try and gel that first team together. There's an 11 that's starting to stand out to me, as Nuno's tactics and philosophies are clearly developing at Nottingham Forest. And the more games we have, it can only be better. Now, obviously, you run the risk of injuries, and this is Nottingham Forest. Of course, something like that will probably happen, but it's not the worst thing. It's also another game at the City Ground, so maybe a new set of fans get to see it because it's a cup match and a replay and what have you. And we're in the hat for the 5th round on Sunday, so that's kind of good. Look, this is a road to Europe. As much as that idiot Jimmy wants to take the mick out of it, Forest can qualify for Europe down this road. And while we're still in that hat, that avenue is still wide open to us. So let's run the course of the FA Cup. If we're going to win it, this is Forest. We're going to do it the hard way. Replays on every single game. Extra time and penalties, no doubt, if we make it through to the next round. But let's just see where the road takes us, because who doesn't want to watch their team play more? So I'm being positive about the game. I thought in the second half, Forest looked better than the first half. And, you know, Bristol City, I thought played really well. and bossed that first half, but they didn't really create many killer chances because after all, Turner kept a clean sheet, so they couldn't have really fired many at him. So overall, many positives. That clean sheet will probably help Turner's confidence. I'm trying to turn a ball fest into something positive. What do you guys think? All right, and finally, just very quickly on Reyna, Forest are still confident that they can land him. I am less so. Once I heard the name Sevilla in the hat, yeah, as I told you guys yesterday, knowing that he wants to play in the Spanish league, that does worry me. So 90% went down to 83. I'm at like 65% now. I'll be honest with you guys. But hopefully I'm doing a reverse jinx on this one and he'll be announced this afternoon. Who knows? This is Forest. Anything can happen. Right, that's your current transfer news update. Don't forget on Sunday, Senegal are going to be taking on the Ivory Coast. I'm back in Senegal all the way. Nia Kate, check Quixote. Do it for us. Send the other 3 home, basically. We may do a watch along for it or not. I don't know. We'll have to see what the schedule is like. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And make sure you're following us on Twitter, official FFTV, and on Insta, exactly the same, official FFTV. We'll see you on the next video. And go check out the Footy Network if you're bored. Come on, you Reds.